Hello guys, it is me again, it's HorrorFan34, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to day 12 of my 31 Days of October Marathon of Reviews. I know, in the background you can see I'm filming this during the day, surprisingly, because you always see me filming a video during the evening. But you know, I wanted to film this review earlier and try to get this uploaded earlier in the day, because later on tonight I'll be going to the movies to be seeing A Simple Favor, which I'm really looking forward to seeing that. So I wanted to make sure that this review was not late and, you know, not posted, you know, the next day. So that way I can keep all these reviews in order, so that way I can upload each review on the day that I film them. So that way this review will be uploaded on the 12th, and the next one 13th and the 14th, things like that. So that's why I'm filming a little bit earlier in the day, before I head out to the movies. But getting on to day 12 of my 31 Days of October reviews of Marathon, I figured I'd review another one of my personal favorite horror films. You can tell by the title. That review is going to be on It. Now, this is the original miniseries of It that came out back in 1990. Directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. Same guy that, I believe he did Halloween 3, I believe. I'm pretty sure he did Halloween 3. He's done a couple other films too, but of course they would redo this in 2017 last year with the new It film, which I was really surprised by. I really do enjoy the new It, but if I had to choose one, I choose this one because I grew up with this one the most. I watched this one a lot of times, things like that. This has just always been my personal favorite adaptation of Stephen King's It. And, you know, Stephen King movies in general, you know, I really do enjoy a majority of the Stephen King films. You know, during this marathon, I reviewed The Shining, which is one of my personal favorite horror films of all time. I love The Shining. I really do enjoy The Mangler. I'm probably one of the only few that like The Mangler, but I happen to enjoy it. Also really enjoy, you know, Pet Sematary, you know, just The Dead Zone. I even enjoy Maximum Overdrive. I enjoy this film. I enjoy, Silver Bullet. I really do enjoy a majority of the Stephen King adaptations. This is probably my favorite of the miniseries that was adapted from the novel. Because other miniseries, I really do, I like the Langoliers, but the Langoliers towards the end, them cheap special effects almost killed the movie for me personally. Those gigantic flying meatballs with razor sharp teeth. That's what they look like. They look like giant meatballs. It's like if Super Nintendo got the idea of making the villains of the game killer meatballs with teeth. That's what it is. It's like a rejected idea for like an NES game. It's like flying meatballs. Horrible special effects, but the rest of the movie I like. I like the cast and that and things like that. But getting onto this one, the film has a very ensemble cast. You know, you have, you know, Harry Anderson, who recently passed away this year, which is too bad. You have Dennis Christopher, Richard Masur, or Masur. I don't know how you say his last name, but you know, he was in John Carpenter's The Thing. He was Corey Haim's dad in License to Drive. You have Annette O'Toole, Tim Reed, John Ritter, of course, the late great John Ritter from Stay Tuned, Three's Company, Sling Blade, many others. And you have Richard Thomas from The Waltons. And of course you have Tim Curry as Pennywise, the clown. And then on top of that too, like some of the kid actors in the film, you have kids like the actors that you have Emily Perkins, who would be in the Ginger Snaps films. She's one of the kids in this film. Seth Green, before Austin Powers, among many others, is in this film too. Jonathan Brandis, who is in, you've seen in a couple, like, you know, Full House and things like that. He's one of the kids in here too. But Stephen King's It, the story is basically you have the town of Derry, and then you have Pennywise the clown, who is terrorizing everybody. And basically these kids have to fight off the clown, and then in the second half is when they're more of adults about what they're doing, and then how it comes back and they have to fight it again in the second half. That's pretty much what it's about. Now, getting on to the miniseries of this adaptation, I really do enjoy this film a lot. I really enjoy both halves. I say I like the first half better than the second half because I think the first half, when they're kids, is far more creepier. Because like when they're adults, you know, it's pretty good, but like, you know, the one major downward fall though of the second half is the ending because I know in the miniseries, like in the novel, this was also the ending in the novel, so they put it in the movie because I guess they didn't really know what to do with the ending where Pennywise was like a giant like spider or crab or something. It was just really lame. I thought that was just kind of like okay, like you built all the way up until the very end, and that's what it comes down to, like fighting off this giant crab-looking creature. You know, I just didn't really care for the ending of the second half, but for the rest of the second half, I really enjoy it because like the actors the actors, it's a really great cast. You know, I'm a really big fan of all these actors. I think they did a wonderful job. It's really great. You know, John Ritter. Actually, I miss John Ritter a lot. I really wish John Ritter was still alive today. You know, Richard Thomas. You know, Harry Anderson, no longer with us anymore either. And of course, you know, this is easily, without a doubt, my favorite role that Tim Curry did as Pennywise the Clown. I mean, Tim Curry just played an excellent Pennywise. He was, without a doubt, my actual favorite, my all-time favorite role with Tim Curry is this film. Because Tim Curry does a wonderful job being tongue-in-cheek at the same time, but also being very dark and creepy. Like, you know, of course, the scene where he's in the sewer and you see the little kid Georgie, you know, oh, come on, bucko, don't you want a balloon? You all float down here. You all float down here. I'm Pennywise, the dancing clown, and you're Georgie, so now we know each other. You know, Tim Curry is just great as Pennywise. So many great, memorable scenes with Tim Curry when he's on screen. Especially the scene where in the shower, in one of those like gymnasium showers, one of the kids, Eddie, who has asthma, you know, Pennywise comes through the drain and he pulls the floor apart and he pokes his head up and he goes that, you know, here I am, Wheezy. Next time, bring your friends. And then he like pulls his head back. He's like, oh, with the teeth. If I try to do that impression, I look stupid, but it's just one of the most creepiest parts of the movie is, you know, Pennywise with those sharp teeth. And, you know, and of course on top of this, there's so many other creepier scenes too, especially when Richie is in the basement and he sees like a werewolf, but it's really Pennywise because Richie was a character who saw a lot of horror films, who got scared by a werewolf. And then you see Pennywise, you know, in the distance going, you know, beat Richie, you know. I can go on and on about Tim Curry as Pennywise. I mean, Tim Curry has great lines. It's lines that you remember. It's easily my favorite role of Tim Curry. I mean, you know, Tim Curry is an actor I really do enjoy, you know, from Legend and Home Alone 2 and Rocky Horror Picture Show, many others. You know, it's really weird seeing him in this film and then seeing him in Home Alone 2 saying, I love you. You know, that funny bellhop guy in Home Alone 2. I thought that was he's a lot of fun in that film. But, you know, Stephen King's It, I don't need to say more about this film that hasn't been said before because it's a film that I really do enjoy. I really like the cast. It's got a great setting in the town of Derry. It's creepy. It's got good music. It's directed very well by Tommy Lee Wallace. Although I still say I like the first half a little bit better than the second half because I feel like the first half is much more creepier because when they're kids it's far more scarier in my opinion. But the second half is still pretty good though, besides the ending with the whole giant crab thing. Because I like, you know, John Ritter. I like, you know, Richard Thomas and Harry Anderson and things like that. I really like the second half because of the cast. But, you know, and also the kid actors do a good job too. So I'm not going to say much more about Stephen King's It that hasn't been said before. It's a classic in my opinion. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching for my review for Stephen King's It, and I will see you guys next time. Alright guys, take care.